Okay, interview roundup. I don't know why I did it so dramatically. So this better be a bloody good interview or else I'll have led you all down the river. Right, or sold you all down the river.
Patch is not imminent. It's pretty imminent.
It seems pretty imminent.
It's July the 11th. Like,
there you go, Matt's confirmed it.
The Winds of Sanctuary event ends.
It's July the 11th.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's definitely a Northern Ireland related EU release day joke to be made.
Oh, nice.
That's there. Like, why is one side of the community clear to the mega dungeon more than the other? It's because the Catholics are all indoors in terror.
Yeah.
Northern Ireland. Okay, 1015 interviews this week. What is going on? Well, things. And our good man, Mr. Dakor, has compiled information for us into a handy place. So then, Dawn of the Infinite. Both Lost Codex and For Azeroth interviewed Associate Game Director Morgan Day and Stephen Cavallaro, Senior Encounter Designer, on the topic of this new Dungo.
God bless you, Stephen.
Let's start on story. So
I will say the original videos here, just for context. Here they are, so you can look at them later if you want to.
You can look at them later and actually hear what the people have got to say instead of just, us bullshitting about between each other and going over a bullet point.
Because this is something I'm just going to literally wax lyrical for no reason here. There's a very interesting thing with information density and how people are engaging with the world today. And people engage very, very much with summaries and like points and the kind of the compilations as opposed to with the entirety of something, and that's very useful and important today because there's so much information to distill in order to stay up with how things go, and if you don't do that you're kind of losing out. But at the same time there is profound amounts of like detail lost in summaries and compilation stuff like that.
So the way people like have say a plushy fish. Yeah. And it's like the only person who can talk is the person who's holding the fish. So instead what you do is you get a video of Subway Surfers. So then when you're doing an interview, you hold your phone up to the camera so there's some Subway Surfers footage for the Zoomers to watch while you make your point, and then they'll listen.
Yes.
Speaking of which, the story of Dawn of the Infinite. Unlike Macagon, it is more moving the plot of Dragonflight forward.
Which is good, because Karazhan didn't do that either.
Yeah.
This is very good.
Oh, Karazhan, it was like, Legion, oh, and by the way, this Legion thing, not important. Look where Medivh went. So, that'll come back soon. But yes, I think that's good, because the whole Mega Dungeon thing, it's basically an opportunity to have, let's be real, a raid worth of story. This just gets to be an extra raid worth of story going on. So this, the story laid out in this will continue in a future update, but the bulk of the story is in the lead-up quests and the actual dungeon itself. There are two main plot lines converging here. The Bronze Dragonflight arc with Chromie trying to protect Nosdormu from becoming Morzog. That is what we call a typo in the document.
And
then, of course, the Primal Incarnates Iridicron stuff. The two are overlapping, though, in this dungeon.
And they really are.
Yep, Chromie's trying to do the saving. Iridicron's trying to get that Galacron juice, we presume. More quest lines will open up after completing the Mega Dungeon, including some encrypted things that we'll have to wait till launch to see.
Yeah, let's go! God bless you for doing that. I'm so tired of story coming out in PTR.
I need a friggin' soundboard where I can hit it and it'll just say, yeah, buddy!
Yeah, buddy!
That was a good one.
Yep.
Yeah.
I practiced story.
And then the other one just come in the name of peace.
Come in the name of peace. Yes.
It'll be really. Do you know what we should do?
No, we're not getting my Discord soundboard. No.
Someone from our guild is like on a call with us during the stream,
right.
And they get to be, if you're ever watching a great film such as Who Killed Captain Alex, and you get to listen to VJ Emmy, like action's coming and VJ Emmy's just like action movie, as the action happens, you're like, oh my god, VJ Emmy, you're right, it is an action movie. They can just like be like, yeah, just play soundboards.
I'm going to be like honest. Actually, if I could be bothered, I could set up soundboard for this, because I know Nicky was showing me he has Discord's hooked up to the Stream Deck, which I have one here, so we actually could do that. If we want to. It'd be scary though.
He's got his Discord in his Stream Deck. He's got his fucking home lights in his Stream Deck.
It does. Oh, I got
well put together bastard.
I got an LED strip recently.
So this is great then that we have these like encrypted storylines, because to be honest, like we didn't know any storylines were happening. The only
outside of the intro, which felt very okay, we're just going in here now. Okay, sure. Which is nice to see that there will be a follow-up after, which is better than here's all the story and then the dungeon.
And on that, so by the end of the dungeon, Morazon's story will be finished for now, but it does not mean the end of the Infinite Dragon.
Of course, yeah, I figured they wouldn't be able to finish that story, which means...
You haven't told me what's going on.
Which means...
I don't know yet.
My theory is still right.
Oh.
I thought that when they announced this being the Infinite thing, I was like, no, my idea for how Dragonflight's going to go is wrong. But now that basically confirms that my idea is completely correct. Not in the details, but in the grand scope of what's going where. So, yeah, we're still good.
Pog. The device that Iridicron uses to siphon Galakrond has properties similar to the Dragon Soul. It was forged by an Altarian, and we'll learn more about it in future updates.
Of course we will. That is
this is going to be like remember the Knife of the Sith? The Dagger of the Sith from Star Wars 3. It was so good.
What's really tilting me is I don't remember what it was, but I remember looking up what that like dagger actually was.
Yeah.
And looking up a couple of like the expanded universe like legendary weapons and concepts and thinking they're really cool. And then remembering they put it in the movie and made it shit. But anyway.
Yeah. Okay, I just have a default. Is this a MacGuffin? Who knows?
It's like it is.
You know, you've played it.
Yeah, I know, like this whole property similar to Dragon Soul, that's not like this is some interview knowledge. This is like literally said in the dungeon. It's literally that's kind of the Dragon Soul, but not. Oh, what the fuck's going on here?
So did Iridicron yank that from Aberys?
He yanked that from Aberys or whatever. I think was it Nalkal's Call was the lab where that stuff was, I think, or somewhere wherever. The one where you go and see Sarkareth with the gauntlet.
Why?
Whatever lab it was had the artifacts, including the bit of Galakrond, the bit of Galakrond's claw, and then the other thing.
Wizard, you could have showed that. That could have been a thing that happened. Could have been a thing that happened in 10.1 that led into 10.1.5. So there'd be a narrative through line.
Sorry, we currently have budgetary issues. Thank you.
Just like just given the A plot so disjointed, that feels like a missed opportunity. If he canonically went, because like right now you wouldn't know that Iridicron had ever been to Zarlak Cavern.
Yeah, that's the.
It's just like Oh, by the way, he got that. Yeah, it wasn't in the game. All right. The Incarnates. I think this is a change. The Incarnates don't see him as a martyr, an ally. They feared him as well as the aspect.
I don't think that's a change. I think that is a. I think there's an assumption that people had, and maybe there's something where they talked about Galakrond in a sort of way. But yeah. I'm not entirely sure.
Did he get that thing from Forbidden Reach?
It might have been one of the labs in the Reach. I'm not sure.
Okay, well, if it's that, then it's a bit more reasonable. But still, I feel like that.
Yeah, it's like it's stuff that I kind of offhand know because we talked about it in the stream once, as opposed to it happened very obviously in game.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
This is kind of like I like that, but I also it's weird. It's like I guess it all boils down to the thing of if that were bonus context. If that were second dessert, you'd be happy. But the problem is you're going, where's my dessert?
So to wrap it all up with that dungeon from a narrative perspective, though, like were you happy, exciting?
Like
interesting.
So there wasn't an awful lot to it in the dungeon, so I'm assuming most of the weight of it happens after, because a lot of it is kind of here's some goofy fights and things like that. But there is like that core bit, and I don't want to spoil it, but the core conceit of the dungeon is really interesting, and they do things that they haven't done in WoW before with it. That's really cool. I'm very excited for people to do it and completely ignore it because they're not paying attention because they're just trying to get loot. God, shit. Anyway, yeah, there's a couple bits of like Chromie dialogue and the way she talks and the way things go that I was like, what's that? And I was like, what's that? What color is that magic? Because that's where we are now, where I'm seeing the color of magic and going, why was that color of magic there? That doesn't make any sense. What's this guy doing? What's happening? But yeah, it's a good dungeon. It's a good dungeon. Very good in a lot of ways, including narratively.
Good shit. For the unlock, it's available immediately. There's a breadcrumb quest that explains it, but you don't need to do that quest in order to enter it. So that's good, and that's based off player feedback. Yeah. And unlike previous ones, it will be split into 2 heroic dungeons in 10.1.7, which is much sooner than they would normally do that. Season 3 will, of course, feature Mythic Plus versions of these as well, and some narrative and RP elements will be removed whenever they convert it into Mythic Plus, which, again, is really good to have happen. On the difficulty front, this is weird because I saw achievements referencing a hard mode.
No, I think those may just have been, like, the usual achievements, like the raid achievements of do this specific thing,
See, it was
and not a literal hard mode.
people told me that the gear was 421, and that seemed really low. And then you
It's
guys were
not-
saying that it
that's
was a
not.
total cakewalk, so it's not actually like that now.
That must just be PTR tuning at the minute, because we were scaled down to 415 and we walked over it outside of a bug, which meant we had to find a workaround to kill a boss. Basically, the time lost battlefield had a bug respawning more ads than possible, so we had to completely like hero and zerg the boss down. That was the only fight that was hard. Outside of a couple wipes on Iridicron, because we literally didn't. No, sorry, it wasn't Iridicron. It was the one before that. We wiped on a couple of things because we're like, what's that mechanic? Oh, it killed us.
Actually,
But
this
it's
is
like it's
as I
pretty
read this,
pretty
this
easy.
is really
okay.
cool. So yeah, that thing of it being 421 on the PTR,
Yeah, that's
the
just
loot, that's
placeholder,
just
yeah.
not true.
We actually knew that
'Cause-
because I think Skarzard said that at one point, said they won't be 421, but didn't say what they would be.
So that's the thing that matters, because the gear is aimed at end of heroic item level. So you're thinking 437, 444. You're
That's
then
good. That's
thinking,
very good.
what about aspect crests? What about the new myth track? Or will it be just
Yeah.
shy of that?
I'm assuming then they're dropped on that then.
So yeah, they're saying that the gear is aimed at end of heroic raid. So this is something there's no optional hard mode, because the hard mode is in fact the default,
Which is very good.
which is very good. And one of the
Well-
reasons they feel okay about that is because the heroic version is coming out much sooner than normal in 10.1.7. And in terms of rewards, like there's that stuff about the gear. They're talking about trying some interesting thematic themes, which of course is the Paracausal fragment, trinket.
No, the Paracausal fragment trinkets are actually from the time rift rewards, not from the
Oh
dungeon.
shit, no, so they are, yeah.
Yeah, what they're talking about there specifically is there's a couple of different ones. There's I can only remember one, which is the one that you borrow a lot of time from your future
Oh,
self,
that one, yeah.
and it causes a paradox, and the paradox hunts you down and stuns you. But if you kill mobs, you keep the paradox away for a while. So you have to like race this thing coming to stun you for combat. And then there is something else. There is what is it? I can't remember. I know there's another one that I saw. And I was like, oh, that's a very smart drink. I
that's
really
nice.
like the way they're playing with these to make them feel like interesting loot by
You
themselves.
can also get skins for your dragons that make them look like they're infinite flight dragons.
Yeah,
so
that's good,
that's
that's good.
pretty sweet. And an infinite tears hammer is something that can drop as a cosmetic reward.
Good.
Of course, that reminds us of, your Tusks of Manaroth, your whatever Argus's big scythe was,
Side of
Agramar's
the
sword.
Unmaker and
Yes.
Teshalak. I still don't have a Teshalak. Man, I don't know if I ever said this. One of our friends got Teshalak and the blue and the red scythe on one run of Mythic and Taurus.
Who was
It
it?
was Tom. And the chance of that happening is
He's got the...
so unbelievably minuscule. It's hilarious.
And the thing for Blizzard is, like, he has the insane achievement.
Yeah.
So he would have just done that for years.
Yeah.
Blizzard, you have lost some serious game time.
Yeah, it's don't tell them that. Jesus Christ. No, it's fine. Anyway, I haven't got a red scythe. I've got the blue scythe, but I don't have Teshalak, and that's what I want. Yeah. Anyway, yes.
That'd be kind of fun to go out and grind.
No, it's not.
What about a Mythic and Taurus with like one or two people? Fun.
Right. That's fun once or twice. But the bosses they're just things you're not go for and hit. That's not fun. None of that is fun for me. I don't like any of that.
Yes. No, you see, I would always, soloing Mythic Legion, I always found to be like quite hard because like the boss actually did hit enough.
Yeah,
you'd
no.
have to they fall over.
No,
now?
you just one shot them like.
We are so much more powerful. You know what? Maybe I'll do that and do a video. Who knows? We'll see. Because that stuff's got legacy loot mode activated, which does mean that like your chances are certainly pretty decent.